Ladies and gentlemen, there will come a time in your life when people you thought would always stand by you begin to distance themselves, their calls stop, their support fades, their presence diminishes. And in those moments, doubt creeps in. What did I do wrong? Why am I not enough? Never let someone's disregard for you dictate your value. You are worthy, regardless of who acknowledges it. This truth is one that many of us struggle to internalize. We live in a world where validation often feels tied to external approval, be it through relationships, social media, or the opinions of others. But the reality is, your worth is not something that can be granted or taken away by anyone. It is innate, unchanging, and wholly yours. When someone disregards you, whether by ignoring you, undervaluing your presence, or failing to see your contributions, it can sting deeply. It's human nature to want to feel seen, appreciated, and understood. But relying on others to affirm your worth places your self-esteem on shaky ground. What happens when their approval wavers? What happens when they're no longer around? You must remember your value is not conditional on someone else's ability or willingness to recognize it. There is power in knowing your worth comes from within. It liberates you from the constant need for validation and allows you to stand tall, even when others fail to support you. Their disregard may hurt, but it does not define you. You are not the sum of their opinions or the result of their neglect. You are a person of strength, talents, and limitless potential, and no one's inability to acknowledge that can diminish who you are. In moments when you feel disregarded, it's essential to pause and reflect on your true value. Consider all that you've overcome, the skills you possess, and the kindness you extend to others. Your worth is found in the way you live your life, the impact you make, and the authenticity you bring to every situation. It's not found in someone else's fleeting approval or attention. When you anchor yourself in this understanding, you become unshakable. It's also worth noting that people's disregard often says more about them than it does about you. Sometimes they are preoccupied with their own struggles, insecurities, or distractions. Other times they may not have the capacity to appreciate you fully. And that's okay. Their inability to see your value does not make you less valuable. It simply means their perspective is limited. Rather than letting their actions diminish you, use those moments as an opportunity to reaffirm your self-belief. Remind yourself of your purpose and your goals. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, and release those who cannot recognize your worth without resentment. Life is too short to chase the approval of those who cannot see what you bring to the table. Ultimately, the only validation that truly matters is your own. When you know your worth, you radiate confidence and strength. You attract the right people, opportunities, and energy into your life. So never let someone's disregard dictate your value. You are worthy, not because someone else says so, but because you are here, alive, and uniquely you. Hold on to that truth and let it guide you through every season of your life. Sometimes people stepping away from your life is a blessing in disguise, steering you toward those who truly value you. At first, it may not feel like a blessing. When someone leaves, whether by choice, circumstance, or distance, it often brings pain, confusion, and a sense of loss. It's natural to question why it happened, replay conversations in your head, or even blame yourself. But in the grand scheme of life, these departures often serve a greater purpose, creating space for the people and opportunities that align more closely with your growth and happiness. When people step away, it forces us to reevaluate our relationships and priorities. Sometimes we hold on to connections out of habit, obligation, or fear of change, even when those relationships no longer serve us. Their departure can be a necessary wake-up call, urging us to let go of what isn't meant for us. While it might not be immediately clear, with time, you'll begin to see that their absence creates room for deeper, more fulfilling relationships with those who genuinely appreciate and support you. Life has a way of aligning us with the right people when we least expect it. The ones who truly value you are often waiting on the other side of these transitions. They are the ones who will celebrate your successes without envy, stand by you during struggles, and embrace you for who you are, flaws and all. Sometimes you have to let go of what feels familiar to discover the connections that elevate and inspire you. It's also important to recognize that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people are there for a season or a specific purpose. They may teach you valuable lessons, help you grow, or even challenge you in ways that lead to self-discovery. When their role in your journey is complete, their departure might be necessary to make way for the next phase of your life. This is not a failure, but a natural part of growth. Their absence can also be an opportunity for self-reflection. It's a chance to ask yourself what you truly want in your relationships and how you can show up as the best version of yourself. Sometimes it's not just about finding people who value you, but also about ensuring you value yourself enough to surround yourself with those who uplift you. This clarity can transform how you approach future connections, helping you prioritize quality over quantity and authenticity over superficiality. As you move forward, trust the process. Trust that life is steering you toward the people and experiences that align with your purpose. When someone steps away, it might feel like a door closing, but in reality, it's an invitation to explore new paths, meet new people, and embrace the unknown. Ultimately, the people meant to be in your life will stay, and those who leave make room for better connections. Their absence is not an end, but a beginning, one that leads you closer to those who truly see, value, and cherish the real you. When others ignore you, it's an opportunity to listen to your inner voice and realign your priorities. At first, being ignored can feel isolating, even painful. We are social beings who thrive on connection, and when that connection seems to weaken or disappear, it can leave a void. However, within that silence lies a powerful opportunity, a chance to turn inward and reconnect with the most important voice in your life, your own. When we are surrounded by the noise of constant interaction, it's easy to lose touch with our inner selves. The opinions, expectations, and needs of others can become so loud that they drown out our intuition. We may start making decisions to please others or to fit in, rather than staying true to who we are and what we value. Being ignored, though challenging, offers a rare moment of quiet. It forces us to pause, reflect, and ask ourselves, what do I truly want? Where am I headed? Am I living for myself or for others? This period of reflection can be transformative. Listening to your inner voice allows you to identify areas of your life that need attention or adjustment. Perhaps you've been putting too much energy into people who don't reciprocate, or maybe you've been neglecting your goals to chase validation. When others ignore you, it's a reminder to shift your focus back to yourself. Instead of seeking approval or acknowledgement, invest that energy into your personal growth, passions, and dreams. Realigning your priorities also means evaluating what truly matters to you. Sometimes the absence of certain people can reveal the imbalance in your life. Are you surrounding yourself with the right kind of people, those who uplift and inspire you? Are you dedicating enough time to the things that bring you joy and fulfillment? Silence from others can help you see where your energy is being wasted and where it should be redirected. This process isn't always easy. It takes courage to face yourself honestly and make changes where needed. But the clarity that comes from such introspection is invaluable. It helps you redefine your purpose and ensure that your actions align with your values. You begin to realize that your worth is not tied to how others treat you, but to how you view and treat yourself. Being ignored can also teach you resilience and self-reliance. It's a chance to build confidence in your ability to navigate life on your terms. When you stop looking outward for validation and start trusting yourself, you become stronger, more grounded, and more at peace with who you are. Ultimately, when others ignore you, it's not a rejection, but an opportunity. It's a gift of time and space to rediscover yourself, to refocus on your journey, and to ensure you're living in alignment with your truest self. Embrace that quiet and use it to grow into the person you're meant to be. In doing so, you'll find that your inner voice becomes your strongest guide and your priorities become the foundation for a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control your response. Choose growth over resentment. Life often presents us with situations where the actions of others hurt or disappoint us. Someone might ignore you, speak harshly, or fail to treat you with the respect you deserve. In those moments, it's tempting to react emotionally, to hold on to anger, or to let resentment take root in your heart. However, the way you choose to respond defines not only the situation, but also the person you become. When someone treats you poorly, it's natural to feel hurt. Emotions are a valid part of the human experience, and acknowledging them is essential. However, staying trapped in those feelings, allowing resentment to fester, does nothing to change the other person's behavior or heal your own pain. Resentment, like a slow-burning fire, consumes your energy, your peace, and your ability to move forward. It keeps you tethered to the very situation or person you want to overcome. Choosing growth instead means looking beyond the immediate sting of the situation and asking yourself what you can learn from it. Growth is about turning a difficult moment into a stepping stone. Perhaps the experience teaches you to set stronger boundaries, to value yourself more, or to seek out relationships with people who align better with your values. Every challenge holds a lesson, and by focusing on what you can take away from it, you turn the pain into a source of strength. Responding with growth also involves letting go of the need for control. You cannot force others to treat you well, to apologize, or to understand your perspective. Their actions are a reflection of who they are, not of your worth. By shifting your focus from what you can't control, their behavior, to what you can control, your reaction, you regain your power. Instead of letting their actions dictate your mood or self-esteem, you decide how to move forward in a way that aligns with your values and goals. Growth also requires forgiveness, not necessarily for their sake, but for your own. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning poor behavior or forgetting what happened. It means releasing the hold that the event or person has over you. It's a way of saying, I choose to prioritize my peace over my pain. When you forgive, you create space for positivity, healing, and progress. Choosing growth over resentment is an act of self-love. It's a commitment to your well-being and a declaration that you refuse to let negativity define your journey. It allows you to remain open to new opportunities, relationships, and experiences without carrying the weight of bitterness. Ultimately, how people treat you is beyond your control, but your response is your power. Choosing growth over resentment doesn't just help you overcome the situation, it transforms you. It builds resilience, strengthens your character, and propels you toward a life that is richer, more peaceful, and more aligned with your true self. Distance allows you to see relationships for what they truly are. When we are close to someone, whether physically, emotionally, or both, it can be difficult to gain perspective. Proximity often clouds judgment, and our feelings or expectations may blur the reality of the connection. However, when distance enters the equation, it creates space for reflection. It gives us the opportunity to evaluate the relationship more clearly and to see whether it's rooted in genuine care, mutual respect, and shared values, or if it has been sustained by convenience, habit, or misplaced loyalty. Time and space have a way of revealing truths that are harder to see up close. In the absence of constant communication or interaction, patterns begin to emerge. You might notice who reaches out and who doesn't, who makes an effort to maintain the bond and who allows it to fade. These observations can be both enlightening and painful, as they may challenge the assumptions you held about the relationship. However, this clarity is a gift, as it empowers you to make decisions that align with your well-being and personal growth. Distance also highlights the dynamics of reciprocity. Relationships thrive on balance, on giving and receiving, supporting and being supported. When you step back, you may realize that you've been carrying the weight of the connection, investing more energy than you've been receiving in return. Alternatively, you might discover that the other person has been a quiet source of strength and consistency, even if their presence wasn't always obvious. These realizations allow you to nurture the relationships that matter most and let go of those that no longer serve you. Embracing the clarity that distance provides means accepting the truths it reveals without resistance. It's natural to feel sadness or even grief when a relationship changes or ends, but holding on to something that isn't healthy or fulfilling can prevent you from growing. Clarity is not meant to cause regret, it's meant to guide you. When you see a relationship for what it truly is, you have the power to make choices that reflect your values and priorities. Moving forward doesn't always mean cutting ties completely. Sometimes it means redefining the relationship, adjusting your expectations, setting new boundaries, or finding a different way to connect. Other times it means acknowledging that the relationship has run its course and allowing it to end with grace and gratitude. Whatever the outcome, moving forward is about honoring yourself and your journey. Distance, though challenging, can be a profound teacher. It shows us who we are, what we need, and who truly stands with us. It reminds us that relationships should be a source of joy, support, and growth, not obligation or pain. By embracing the clarity that distance brings, you free yourself to focus on the connections that uplift and inspire you, creating space for deeper, more authentic bonds in the future. Through this process, you move closer to a life filled with relationships that are as real and meaningful as you deserve. Stay authentic. The right people will be drawn to your light without you needing to shrink yourself. In a world that often pressures us to conform, it can feel tempting to suppress who you truly are to fit in, avoid conflict, or gain acceptance. However, dimming your light, your unique qualities, passions, and essence only creates relationships and opportunities that are misaligned with your true self. Authenticity, on the other hand, allows you to attract people and circumstances that genuinely resonate with who you are at your core. When you stay authentic, you give the world a clear and unfiltered version of yourself. This authenticity is your light. It's what makes you unique and irreplaceable. People are drawn to light. It inspires, warms, and creates connection. But that connection is only meaningful if it's rooted in truth. By being authentic, you ensure that those who come into your life are drawn to the real you, not a curated version that you think they want. These are the people who will appreciate you for exactly who you are without conditions or expectations for you to change. Shrinking yourself, whether by hiding your opinions, downplaying your strengths, or suppressing your dreams, might bring temporary approval, but it comes at a cost. Over time, it can lead to frustration, self-doubt, and a feeling of being trapped. Living inauthentically often attracts people who are more comfortable with a version of you that isn't real, creating a disconnect that can be exhausting to maintain. In contrast, authenticity fosters relationships built on mutual respect, trust, and shared values, connections that are fulfilling and sustainable. Being authentic doesn't mean you'll please everyone, and that's okay. Not everyone will understand or appreciate your light, but that doesn't diminish its worth. The right people, those who are aligned with your values and energy, will recognize your authenticity and embrace it. They won't ask you to shrink or change. Instead, they will encourage you to shine brighter. These are the connections worth cultivating, the ones that bring joy, growth, and genuine support into your life. Staying authentic also allows you to lead a life that is aligned with your purpose and passions. When you honor who you are, you make decisions that reflect your true desires and values, rather than compromising to meet someone else's expectations. This alignment brings a sense of peace and confidence as you no longer feel the need to prove yourself or seek validation from others. You become grounded in the knowledge that you are enough just as you are. Ultimately, authenticity is your greatest strength. It allows you to live boldly, love deeply, and connect meaningfully. By staying true to yourself, you not only illuminate your own path, but also inspire others to embrace their own light. The right people will be drawn to your authenticity, not because you've molded yourself to fit their needs, but because your light resonates with theirs. Stay authentic, and you'll find that the relationships and opportunities that come your way will be richer, deeper, and infinitely more rewarding. In conclusion, life will present moments when you feel disregarded, ignored, or distanced from others. During these times, it's important to remember that your worth is not defined by how others treat you. You are valuable regardless of external validation. When people step away, it's often a blessing in disguise, redirecting you toward relationships that truly align with your purpose and values. Distance allows you to gain clarity, helping you recognize the importance of authentic connections and showing you who is truly worth your time and energy. While you cannot control how others treat you, you have full control over how you respond. Instead of allowing resentment to take root, choose growth. Use each challenge as an opportunity to reflect, learn, and become stronger. Growth means seeing these experiences not as setbacks, but as stepping stones that propel you forward on your journey of self-discovery. Remember, in times of silence or neglect, take a moment to listen to your inner voice. Realign your priorities and focus on what truly matters to you. Relationships should nurture your growth, not hold you back. When you stay authentic and embrace your unique light, the right people will be drawn to you, and you will no longer need to shrink to fit in. Ultimately, your journey is about being true to yourself, trusting the process, and letting go of what doesn't serve you. The people who are meant to be in your life will stay, and the ones who leave will create space for better things ahead. Stay authentic, choose growth, and let your light guide you toward the relationships and opportunities that reflect your true self. So if they distance themselves and ignore you, let them. Focus on your path. The people who truly matter will meet you there, not because you begged for their attention, but because your light was so undeniable they couldn't stay away. Thank you. We'll go.